Hi guys, how's all my wonderful viewers going and subscribers? Welcome back. I haven't been with you for a couple of weeks due to the fact that we had the Madrid. Well, no, sorry, we had the Monte Carlo Masters 1000. Since then, we've had just 250s, with the exception of Barcelona, and the main guy wasn't there, Nadal. So without Nadal at the 500 and the rest all 250s, yes, Djokovic. If we had Djokovic and Nadal, I would have done both of those two tournaments, but couldn't do it because I like to just do the Masters of 1000, World Tour Finals, Grand Slams, and then like if it's something like Nadal and Djokovic are both there, and it's less than that, then I'll do it. But considering the big one, the 500. None of Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic was not there. And then the rest were 250s. I decided to take a break for a couple of weeks. But now I'm really ready for you to do Madrid. I'm going to be covering Rome next week, French Open, grass court season, Wimbledon. We've got so much coming up on this channel. So welcome back, guys, after a couple of weeks of 250s and then a 500 minus Nadal. So first, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks before I preview Madrid, Beam has came back. He's played a couple of matches. He's looked on and off, but more off. We saw Djokovic, of course, at Monte Carlo, which I spoke about. He looked very cold and tired and exhausted in his first match. Then he was sort of getting to a 5 out of 10 in most of his matches at the Serbia Open. Um, but then in the final, um, he played sort of a 4 5 out of 10, and then got very tired in the third set where he lost 6 love. Looked a lot like the end of his first round of Monte Carlo. He says he ran out of gas. Early in the match, he was a bit off, like he hadn't found his form. So what you're finding with Djokovic early in the game, he's out of rhythm because he's not got match fitness. He's trying to find his match fitness. Usually he'll play sort of a 7 out of 10 level in the second set and then fall away as the match gets longer with the lack of fitness and the tiredness. So that's what you're seeing. Overall, I would say he's playing about 4 out of 10 sort of level, building up. It was about 1 or 2 out of 10 when he started, so at least you could say he's improving. Nadal's also announced since the last couple of weeks that he'll be back for Madrid Masters 1000, which is what I'm previewing right now. Um, I just want to say what I think about his time missing and how all this how all this is going to affect Nadal before I get into the preview. Right, this could be this will be a negative for Madrid and Rome because he's coming out of 6 months out of the game. So he's going to be using Madrid and Rome to get his game back to where it was. But I believe by the end of Madrid and Rome, he will be back to where he was, which was 20 out of 20 to start the season, 20-0 on hard courts. But if he's playing that level on hard courts, he's now used to the clay courts too after the two tournaments. It's going to be an even better level. And definitely, it's only 6 weeks off, 4 weeks off the practice court. So Madrid and Rome will get him back to where he was, but the clay court version of where he was. So if he's 20-0 on hard court, he'll be much better than that on clay. And then I think really he'll be in a position to peak for the French Open. Like he's going to lose out by this. He won't be at his best probably for Madrid and Rome. Madrid, he's probably going to be quite far from his best, and Rome, he's going to be getting towards his best. But I think he'll really click, especially by the second week of the French Open. And I think this will help him because now he's got just enough tennis to find his game with Madrid and Rome, where at those tournaments he wasn't peaking and he may not be able to win them. But now, because he's used those tournaments to find form, now he will be ready to peak for the French Open, right? But at the same time, he won't be as tired, as exhausted, and run down after going that whole, like if he wasn't injured, for example, that whole Australian Open, 3 weeks off, Acapulco, 2 weeks off, um, Indian Wells, then the whole clay court season, Monte Carlo, Barcelona, a week off, Madrid, Rome, week off, then 2 weeks of the French Open. At this age, he could have been rather exhausted, but what we'll see now, him being fresh, a bit underdone, getting back to where he was after, not during Madrid and Rome, but after playing Madrid and Rome, and ready to peak and have that right exact amount of tennis, but at the same time, not too much tennis like he would have had if he wasn't injured, where he's physically run down and all the aches and pains. And by the end of all that tennis, he'll be his worst, physically broken down at the end of the French Open. That's what happened last year. Before last year, what we saw with Nadal when he was a bit younger, but early 30s, he was physically drained and exhausted and at the end of himself and just found enough to get through that French Open. Um, And then for Wimbledon, he only just got there literally, and then at Wimbledon, he just completely ran out of gas. To do well on grass, he needs time on the grass courts, right? He needs to be fresh right after the French Open. He just take a few days off and say, grass is not my ideal surface. I'm not naturally good, but if I put a lot of time and work at it before Wimbledon, I can be ready to go, right? But he's totally exhausted. He needs all the time off from the French Open, Wimbledon. He's coming into Wimbledon not prepared, and that's the only way he can do it, because he's exhausted from the French Open. But now it's a court that you need. You when you used to win it, you spent time on it. You knew you weren't good at it. You practiced at it. You became good, but there's no time for that. So you could just go out early, or at least you won't reach the best you could be on grass, right? But now what this is going to do, the 6 weeks off. Yes, he's underdone and not at his best for Madrid and Rome, but he uses that to get ready to peak. Then he's got just enough tennis, he's ready to peak at the French Open. Well, now, in addition to that benefit, but instead of just physically surviving past the French Open, or like last year, where he ran out of gas before the French Open ended, now he's still completely fresh and ready to peak for the French Open. Just enough tennis, not too much. And then the same for Wimbledon. You had the 6 months off at the end of last year. You're only back for a few months, and then you've got another 6 weeks out of the game, right? Um, so now you've only just come back for 4 weeks, Madrid, Rome, and the French Open, and you've got 3 weeks for Wimbledon. So now you're much more fresh. If you all you need is a week off, you can put 2 weeks really working hard, practice on that grass, become good, and also be much more fresher for Wimbledon and have much more time to say, I'm not good on grass. I can physically put the time to become good on it before the event. So he's going to make it more fresh for the French Open, more fresh for Wimbledon, and more fresh for the 3 weeks between the French and Wimbledon to prepare, maybe even play a tournament, Halle or Queen's Club. So I really think it's going to benefit him both for the French Open and for Wimbledon, and even later in the year. Like I said, okay, he would have played a number of tournaments by the US Open, but again, he had all this time off. He played Madrid, Rome, French Open, Wimbledon, then goes on another 4 week break, and then plays Toronto, and then another 2 week break. I mean, he'll be very fresh and not feeling like run down at the end of the year at that US Open. So it's going to be just enough for the French Open, not too much. He'll be much more fresher for Wimbledon. And then after Wimbledon, he goes on a longer break and he wasn't even back that long. So he'll be fresher. And this will really help him to peak at these 3 Grand Slams. And the sacrifice is he's lost Monte Carlo, Barcelona. He probably won't be at his best at Madrid and Rome. He'll be finding his form. But I think for the French Open, for Wimbledon, for the US Open, this is really going to help him to peak there. And the French Open, he'll really be in a position where he's played just enough after Madrid and Rome, but not too much and really fresh, but yet enough tennis and ready to peak. So that's how I see this break will affect Nadal. But like I said, the whole clay court season prior to he's either missed them, the tournament, or he won't be ready to be at his best at Madrid and Rome. But he's using those to find his game. So let's get on to the Madrid Masters 1000 preview. First, I'll look at Novak Djokovic part of the draw. He's probably going to play Monfils in the first round. He's played 2 tournaments now. He's got a bit of practice. He'll probably win that. Thiem is playing Murray. Now that Thiem's been on the court for 2 matches and had time to practice, and Murray's not good on clay, he's been out for a while. I think Thiem will get through that. Djokovic against Thiem, they're both going to find form, but I think Djokovic wasn't out for as many months. He's had more time to practice and a few more matches, so I think Djokovic will win that in straight sets. Um, could be three sets for Thiem, but it would be straight sets in his first round against Monfils. Sort of doing that 6, 7 out of 10, just enough to get by. Um, actually, sorry guys, I think that the winner of Murray and Thiem will still have to play Shapovalov. So I think Shapovalov will play Djokovic. That could go either way. That'll be a tough Djokovic's second round, which is actually the round of 16, the third round of the tournament. I just think that'll be a tough battle. I'm just saying because clay courts, because Djokovic is good at returning guys who depend on their serve. And on a clay court, it'll be slower, so you have even more time to return to get back Shapovalov serves, force him into a rally, and then when Shapovalov tries to go for it to shorten the point, it's hard to do that because it's a clay court, so your power is not going to be getting past Djokovic's defense. You won't be able to stay in the rally. You'll go for too much power, too close to the line, make errors, and you'll be forced into rallies on your own serve because one, Djokovic is a good returner even on a fast court. Two, he's got more time to return the ball in the clay court. So 3 sets for Djokovic there. Then I think what we'll see is he'll play Casper Ruud Djokovic in the quarterfinals. I'm saying Casper Ruud will win this one. It'll be 3 sets of physically long battles and rallies. The big thing is they'll be both have great defense. They'll both be consistent. They'll both be great at the rallies. But Casper Ruud on a slow clay court will have time to set up, run around the backhand, hammer forehands, and will be able to have that big forehand, a big powerful shot to hit through a slow clay court. Sorry, to hit through a slow clay court, but it's actually faster at Madrid and hit through a great defender. Djokovic is very fast, and then the clay court gives him a bit of extra time to get to balls. But with Rudd having a lot of time to set up and hit forehands, he has that one big powerful weapon to get through this court, get through Djokovic's defense. Whereas Rudd may be a bit faster than Djokovic, and then Djokovic doesn't have a big shot like a Wawrinka backhand or a Nadal forehand or a Thiem forehand or a Rudd just to hit it through a slow clay court against a very fast defender like Rudd. So considering that it's and also Rudd likes the top spin, making the ball bounce higher at altitude, you'll get that. So I just think it'll be a lot of good consistent rallies, but with Rudd time to set up on the forehand, the power to get through the clay court and Djokovic's defense, but Djokovic struggling to create power through a clay court and through a very fast defender to finish points. That'll be the difference. Very close, 3 sets to Casper Rudd. So I don't think we'll get that Nadal Djokovic one. Now, Nadal's part of the draw. Nadal is coming back in a very tough situation because one, he's been out for 6 weeks. Okay. Two, he's playing at his worst clay court event that he's not won since 5 years. So even when he's there playing all the time, he usually doesn't win here. That's when he's fit, perfect. He's just come off of probably winning Monte Carlo and Barcelona, both of them. Even under that situation, he doesn't win Madrid. So now to think he'd win Madrid when he's been out for 6 weeks on his very first week when he's trying to find form. No, if he can't win it when he's playing all the time and winning all the time and he's won Monte Carlo and Barcelona, he's not going to win it when he's been out for 6 whole weeks. Maybe if he was coming back after 6 whole weeks to his best clay court event, he could maybe do it. But the combination of him being out of form, not playing, and playing his worst clay court event, I say no. But anyway, let's look at his draw. Kemanovic or Bublik. I think he'll get through that. Probably Kemanovic in 3 sets. It'll be a close one. But Nadal will have what it takes under pressure. Then I think he'll probably play Pablo Carreño or Busta in the next round. I mean, he's just going to overpower. It's going to be one of those like a Nadal for rare match. Two consistent guys, good defense, great at long rallies. But Nadal has that huge forehand to push Pablo Carreño or Busta out and overpower him. So you'll see both consistent, both good at defense, both like playing on clay. But Nadal has this big forehand to finish the point that Pablo Carreno or Busta doesn't. So you just see Nadal in the rally standing in the middle, hammering forehands and overpowering Pablo Carreno or Busta. But because he's just back and because it's Madrid, not his best clay court, 3 sets to Nadal still. Um, and then what we're going to see, he's going to play Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. I mean, I would say that Alcaraz will win this because, like I said, oh no, I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is they played at Indian Wells, right? They played at Indian Wells, these two guys, right? Um, this is when Nadal had a 19 game winning streak. He's playing all the time and he's hot. Yet it was like a 3-hour match coming down to a few points, right? But the thing is, Alcaraz has got even better since then. He won Miami, he's won Barcelona, he's got much more confidence. And then when you add him playing at this elite level, and he was so close to beating Nadal, he just has to be a bit better, and he is a bit better. And then you add to that Nadal, it's his third match back after 6 weeks off. He won't be able to beat his best yet. So when you say Alcaraz will beat his best, Nadal won't because he's just coming back off an injury. And this is the best clay court of all the courts that Alcaraz would have the best chance to beat Nadal, even if Nadal was fit. He was playing every week. He was match fit. Even under those circumstances, his best chance of all the clay courts would be here at Madrid. But he's got the best court to beat Nadal Madrid, and he's got the best time to beat Nadal. His third match back after 6 weeks off. So if it was Nadal's third match back and he was on a sea level clay court, it would be easier than usual because he's just coming back, but still hard. But then when you add it's his third match, he's not in form yet, and he's playing on his worst clay court where he hasn't won for 5 years. And then Alcaraz is getting him on the best court he could possibly get to beat Nadal and the best time, with Nadal just coming back from the injury. And Alcaraz is actually on fire right now and not coming back from anything, winning all the time and playing all the time. But considering it's Nadal and it's clay, I'll give Nadal a set, but I'll say Alcaraz will win this in 3 sets. I am saying, by the way, if you think that I'm doubting Nadal, I've got Nadal to still win because Rome and the French Open, but I don't think he'll win here. By the time it's his second week back, he's had more time to practice, more time to play. His game is building, and he'd be better anywhere, wherever it is. Then you put him on the Rome clay court that's better for his game. Then I think he could be in a position to win. But if not, for sure for the French Open. But at the moment, I've got him not winning Madrid, winning Rome and the French Open. But where I'm saying he's going to go down is right here against Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. So let's just finish off this side of the draw. The semi-final then would be Alcaraz against Casper Ruud. They've both got a very similar game. Great defense, consistent, good at rallying. Both have huge forehands. But the area I think Alcaraz is going to win this is he's just got a slight bit more power on his forehand to get through this slow clay court and to get through a really great, because you've got to hit it through a clay court and hit it through a great defender who's fast and running down all these balls and doing all that, right? He's just got that little bit more on his forehand than Rudd does. And then in addition to that, he can generate power off his backhand to even generate power, hit through a slow clay court, and hit through a very fast defender to finish points, right? So the fact that he can generate power to finish points through a slow clay court and through a great defender on both forehand and backhand, and then the stronger side, the forehand, do it even better um, than Rudd. I'm just saying that that's what's going to win the match. They're both equal in consistency, defense, but just a slight bit more power on the forehand than Rudd, and then to be able to generate way more power on the backhand. I just think that'll put him over the edge. He'll win in 3 sets. He'll move to the final here in Madrid. Let's look at the other side of the draw, right? Zverev, I think he'll beat Cilic or Vinolas. Then he'll probably beat Riley Opelka or Ivashka. Um, then he'll probably beat Aliassime. All those I'm going to say they'll be straight sets. Aliassime, 3 sets, possibly, but then he's not good on clay either. Zverev's not playing well, but that's a good draw. So that'll put him into the semi-finals. Then Tsitsipas, he'll beat Khachanov. Then he'll beat Schwartzman. He'll overpower him in the with a forehand, and just Schwartzman will just pushed around and bossed around. That'll put Tsitsipas into the quarterfinals. Then he's going to play Rublev, right? And this match is really 50-50 because Tsitsipas is playing well, Rublev's playing well. But the fact that I saw them at Monte Carlo and Tsitsipas' forehand was able to just really generate power, really just get through the court. Rublev wants time to set up on his powerful shots, hit 4, 5, 6, 7 shots until he can finish the point, right? So he wants to get in those long rallies. He wants time to set up on the forehand. I think Tsitsipas will take both of those away. He's going to shorten the points, so Rublev will never really get in those long rallies and never really get any rhythm with his huge forehand getting through this slow clay court. He's going to take the time. He's going to shorten points. So Rublev never gets in rallies, never gets rhythm. He's also going to take Rublev's time where he doesn't have time to set up and hit his big powerful shots because again, Tsitsipas is hammering the forehand, getting it through the court, coming into the net finish. So he's shortening the points and taking Rublev's time, so he doesn't get rhythm to get into rally, doesn't have time to set up on his powerful shots. Tsitsipas overpowers him, but Rublev's playing well. That'll be 3 sets, a close one, and then the semi-final, we're going to see Tsitsipas against Zverev. We saw them at the semi-finals of Monte Carlo. I'm saying they're going to meet here again at the semi-finals, and I'm just saying I think Tsitsipas. I mean, Tsitsipas on a slow clay court. You go to the backhand. He has time to run around and hammer forehands. You go into his forehand, he's got time to just set up and hammer the big strokes, the big swing. The clay court gives him time to set up and hammer that ball. And then when you go to his backhand, he has time to run around and hit a whole lot of forehands off the backhand side too, right? Whereas Zverev, even though he's got good power on both forehand, backhand, consistently better than Tsitsipas's backhand on both sides, but that one big forehand to just finish points is what Tsitsipas has over him. And on a clay court, when you have time to set up constantly to hit the forehand, even on the backhand, you can run around and hit more forehands. And then you need that really powerful shot to finish points. And that all suits Tsitsipas. And Tsitsipas has that shot that's going to get through the court, finish points in a better way than any of Zverev's points. You'll be able to hit more forehands because it's a clay court, time to set up, run around the backhand. So I'm just going to say on this one, it'll be I'm going to say straight sets to Tsitsipas because he's playing well. He's dominant on clay, and Zverev is a bit off. But I wouldn't be surprised because Madrid is a faster clay court if it goes to 3 sets. But either way, I'm saying Tsitsipas. So Tsitsipas against Alcaraz, I've got now in the Madrid Masters of final. Now for this match, what I'm saying is they've both got great power on the forehand side. So that's pretty even, right? But the thing is, Alcaraz has almost as much power on the backhand side. So when they're forehand to forehand in rallies, they're about equal. But when they're backhand to backhand, Alcaraz is better. And then when it comes to defense on a clay court, very important. If you're extremely fast, when you've got to hit through a clay court which is slower, and hit through someone who's extremely fast running down balls, it's harder to win points. So Alcaraz is faster than Tsitsipas. So Alcaraz can just stand in the middle, hammer forehands or backhands, get through Tsitsipas. Is not extremely fast and finish points, right? Whereas Tsitsipas only has that power on one wing, the forehand. So he's going to have to run around to hit forehands when you're at the backhand side and leave the court open. And then Alcaraz can hit through that open court. He can hit the backhand down the line through the court. And if Tsitsipas doesn't want to run around to hit forehands and stand in the middle, then he's stuck in backhand to backhand rallies with Alcaraz. And Alcaraz will overpower him in the backhand to backhand exchange. And then if Tsitsipas is forced to run around the backhand to hit forehands and leave this court open, then there's a backhand down the line or even Alcaraz's forehand. So it's really going to be won by the fact that they're equal on the forehand, but the fact that Alcaraz can generate that same power to finish points on the backhand and can just stand in the middle and just hammer it forehand, backhand. And if it's backhand to backhand rallies, he can beat Tsitsipas. If Tsitsipas runs around the backhand, hit forehands, he can hit the backhand down the line or a forehand and expose that open court. So just to have that extreme power off both forehand and backhand, whereas Tsitsipas has it only the forehand. And then on the slow clay court, when you get more time to run down more balls, if you're fast, it's a big advantage, and Alcaraz is faster. So due to being a better backhand than Tsitsipas, matching Tsitsipas on the forehand, and being faster and better defensively, I'm going to give it to Alcaraz, but it'll be 3 sets, but Alcaraz is going to win this one. And Carlos Alcaraz will be your 2022 Madrid Masters 1000 champion, guys. That's my video for today. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. My next video will be around Friday, Saturday. I'll be previewing the Madrid Masters 1000 semi-finals. The day before the matches, I'll know who's in the match, who's playing, and how their form has. And I'll be able to analyze who got to the semi-finals, how did they get there, and how are they playing, give you an up-to-date preview of the Madrid Masters semi-finals. I'll preview the final the day after that, but come back Friday, Saturday for my next video, the Madrid Masters 1000 semi-final preview. Subscribe for that, guys. Hit the bell notification, thumbs up. See you guys towards the end of the week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. See you Friday, Saturday. Bye, guys. Subscribe.